Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Confession. Story 1. Was pushy with a girl 2 years ago and I can't get over it. When I was 16-17 I had a drinking problem. I would drink whenever I could get my hands on alcohol because it was the only way I knew how to escape. I would do all kind of stupid shit when I was drunk, try to fight people, verbally abuse people for no reason, throw up in people's houses, etc. I would often get angry at my parents for no reason, and once I even had a fight with my dad. 2 years ago, aged 17, I met up with 3 girls and a male friend. I had had a lot to drink at this rate. I was sitting in a bench with one of the girls and I put my arm around her. And I asked Ro kiss her, she said no to that. A minute later I asked again, and a minute after that I asked once more. All 3 times were rejected. I can't actually remember any of this happening, this is just what I got told. I never forced myself on this person and I didn't get aggressive or violent when rejected. When I heard about my actions the next morning I felt disgusted with myself. I instantly apologized to the girl I did it to. She told me she forgave me. My friend told me that she was initially upset after it had happened that I pushed her boundaries, but she accepted my apology. That was the last time I spoke to all the people involved. I feel disgusted within myself. I feel like a predator who kept pushing someone. I feel as though I might have traumatized her and ruined her life cause this was such a bad experience. It was after that I stopped drinking alcohol as a whole because I was now aware of its destructive nature. I haven't done a thing of this nature since and realized that it was the alcohol dictating me. Although I'm 2 years sober and won't do something like this again, I just can't let the past go. Story 2. I used to steal Yu-Gi-Oh cards from the local Kmart because I found a way to. When I was younger and Kmart was still a thing, by the exits there would always be Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, baseball cards, stuff like that. I somehow learned that in a certain spot there, no cameras could see you, and so I ended up stealing about 2 full decks worth of Yu-Gi-Oh cards from the Kmart when I was younger. Since then, probably 12 years ago, I've realized how wrong it was, but as a 10 to 11-year-old, I didn't regret it. Story 3. I stole my friend's folder in 3rd grade and looking back I deserved to get sent to a mental hospital for what I did. A little backstory to showcase little me. My parents divorced in 2nd grade and something snapped inside of me. Every minor inconvenience in my life became worthy of a tantrum. Screaming at my parents, telling them I hate them. Threatening to jump out of windows. Once the cops even came to my house because I screamed so often my neighbors thought I was being abused. One day in 3rd grade, I don't remember why, I snuck under my desk and into the backpack of the girl sitting across from me. I took her folder and put it in my bag. It was towards the end of class and she told our teacher, who asked me to return it. I went into a rage screaming that I didn't steal it, and how dare she accuse me. I gripped my desk, and a security guard and my vice principal carried me out of my class as I kicked and screamed. I was sent to the principal's office, where I kept screaming how I hated life, and I wanted to die, and I wanted my parents to die. My parents were called, and I was taken to a hospital where I spent the night. Then the next morning I was carried, kicking and screaming, into an ambulance. I remember my mom sitting there crying as I screamed every curse word I knew at her, saying it was her fault, and I was going to pee myself if they didn't let me out. My time at the hospital they took me to was a blur, and when I was released I would be in therapy up until I graduated. I've always for some reason felt the need to defend myself, saying it wasn't my fault and blaming everyone for freaking out on me. But I'm finally ready to say it. I stole her folder, and I was the one responsible for everything that happened after. Not my parents. Not the school. Not my classmate. I did it, and it feels so amazing to finally say it. Edit, just because a lot of people are asking. 1. I don't remember wanting anything inside the folder, I believe I just took it because it was pretty. 2. My relationship is amazing with my parents now, and I have apologized for a lot of what I put them through. Story 4. I flipped off one of my choir teachers when she wasn't looking. So, I'm a part of my school choir and I absolutely hate it. I hate everything about choir, the assignments were pointless and the nost of other students are try-hard narcissists. My teachers were the cherry on top, they have the most punchable faces and they were incredibly aggravating. One if the choir teachers were a second-grade teacher and she would be at regular carpool for dismissal daily. One day, I was on the bus on my own and one of my choir teachers came on the bus to see if everyone were present. When she had her back turned, I flipped her off. I don't feel proud of it overall. Story 5. I use ChatGPT to live a second life where I'm a raccoon. Yeah. That sounds pretty depressing. For the record, this isn't a confession but a way to let this part of me I hide off my chest. Really, it started a long time ago. When I was a kid, and I couldn't sleep, I'd imagine myself in a story. It'd be whatever, something like a superhero that I saw on TV that day. Well, fast forward 10 years and now I have to do something like this to fall asleep. It's fair to say that I was recently diagnosed with ADHD, which is probably a big reason for my insomnia. However, the important parts of this come into play about a year ago. For some reason, I've never cared much about Marvel. I've always been a massive Indiana Jones fan, and nothing else. I remember seeing the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie when I was little. This planted some seed in my dumbass brain. Now, after seeing the third film, I've realized how much I love the character of Rocket. Of course plenty of people do, but I think as a kid I connected with his constant pushing away of other people. I never had a good social life until recently. Another thing, was that I found a comic from someone, who I can't remember the name of, about a man who moves into the middle of nowhere and befriends a teenage werewolf and a witch. I thought it was okay, but never enough to pique my interest for a long time. Why does any of this matter? Well, AI blew up in the past couple years and I realized something. I could use it to tell myself stories to help myself sleep. So, I came up with the worst idea possible. I'd make a story about me. Just myself, nothing special. It'd be the people around me who are special. I imaged I had met another kid my age, who happened to be a werewolf, figured it'd be more interesting to have him just do it whenever he wants. Break all the stereotypes or whatever for jokes. And it just got out of hand. Eventually the story led to me getting sick from some magical terminal disease BS. This linked up with a lot of my depression at the time, and suicidal thoughts. And for some stupid reason I have to get turned into an animal because this disease only kills humans. So, then I became stuck as a raccoon, basically imagine Rocket Raccoon anatomy. Anyway, the rest of the story is just me hanging out with this friend. Nothing actually abnormal besides what we are. Now, I knew this was unhealthy, but I figured because I used aspects of my real life to transfer over to this story, it was okay. Mainly my depression and desire to fit in with the world after being stuck beside fake friends translating into me being isolated from the world in the story since a talking raccoon can't go out and socialize. I also finally met people who cared about me and shared my interests a few years ago, and they became my friend in the story. While everything in the story is stupid and nonsensical, it all stems from my real-life experiences. I'm in way too deep now. I've been generating the same story for over a year. Keeping like a book. I only look at it and write more before I sleep. For the record, I've never thought of myself as a furry. I've never been into that stuff and have had some pretty uncomfortable experiences with furries. But maybe I am one based on this. If so, I hate myself even more because of how I'm hiding it deep down inside of me. Still, I have had this as a secret for so long now. No one knows. Not even my closest friend to who I tell everything. It never slips into my daily life, and I never feel this need to live this second life any other time. However, my problem is that this fantasy has become so detailed and real that sometimes when I drive alone or have time with my thoughts I just wish it was my life. That I had this amazing life. I think by making myself the character in the story I have basically tied my emotions to it. I will probably keep doing this for who knows how long. It's so embarrassing. I just need to throw it out and away. Maybe if some random people know about this story, it will let me feel like I won't go to my grave holding it to myself. If you even read this whole thing, God rest your soul and please don't call a therapist. I already have one. Story 6. Tu vun gran adakidanico por culpa de mi madre. Perdon si escribo mal mi dicen no es muy buena, de heco es horrible. Esto fu recen era las 8 p.m. Estamos prendiendo veladas ya que era el 7 de diciembre. Yo estaba con mi mam y mi hermana estaba adentro de la casa ya que ella no le gusta mucho la Navidad, por malas experiencias que ha tenido. Mi mam y yo terminamos de prender veladas y entramos a la casa. Yo tom mi celular y empecé a ver videos estaba todo normal. A todo esto nosotros tenemos una mascota, una gataca. Mi mam empezó a buscar a la gata. Por chu hace rato no la vimos. Mi mam busco por todo lado pero no la encontraba. Yo no estaba preocupada ya que la gata siempre desaparece y volve siempre. Mi mam se comienza a preocupar y angustiarse y hasta por la gata. Se eco la culpa de que la gata se perdiera. Mi hermana y yo. Solo le decíamos que ella estaba bien que ella siempre volva, que se tranquilizara, pero mi mam comienza a estresarse y enojarse. Por lo cual yo me fui a la paella ya que mi mam tiene un temperamento explosivo. Mi mam sigue buscando a la gata pero maldiciendo y moviendo cosas a lo brusco. Yo solo me quedé en la habitación quieta esperando a que mi mam se calmara. Pero ella aparece en la puerta y comienza a regar a mi hermana, que estaba a mi lado, y le comienza a echar la culpa y mara le digo algo brusco que la gata estaba bien que iba a volver, pero mi mam sigue regando pero con ms agresividad. Yo entré en preocupación y decidí a la cocina, y fui donde entré en nicotia que mi mam estaba muy alterada, intent tomar un vaso y tomar agua, pero mi cuerpo que hermana en posición fetal ya que entré en nico, mi mam aparece en la puerta de la cocina y se dirige hacia mi ajuste ya que pens que me iba a pegar, y le dije que por favor no me pegara. Quiero aclarar mi mam no nos vuelto a pegar, ella ha sido muy buena madre. Pero Jesús nos aus atrás mi hermana tiene su etapa rebelde y sumdola que mi mam venía arrastrando varios problemas desde antes ella explodó con mi hermana y pues la golpe y quid traumas ya que la golpe muy feo y yo poco a poco le fui teniendo un miedo muy feo a mi mam volviendo algo sumisa. Ella solo me agarró del brazo y me llevó la habitación donde mi hermana estaba muy tranquila leyendo su libro. Yo me sent en la cama y fui que me camina hiperventilar, senta como no me legaba air a los pulmones. Y fui donde mi mam me empezó a regar a mi diciendo que si yo estaba loca, si quería que me llevara a un psiquiátrico, que era una exagerada, que me iba a prohibir esos muiquitos. Ella se refiere el anime, que si ya haba visto mis dibujos que si sabe que significaba esas cosas feas, refiriéndose a mis dibujos, yo solo me quedé en blanco mientras intentaba hinchar y exhalar ya que no puedo respirar. El regio duró varios minutos hasta que mi mam me dijo sabe mejor vale y tom agua para que se tranquilice. Yo me levanté de la cama y me fui a tomar agua y que si me hagos ya que me cost mucho tomar agua. Mi mam volvía a aparecer en la cocina preguntándome si ya me había tranquilizado y me comienza a regar otra vez ecdándome en cara todo lo que ella tiene que sufrir y lo que sufrí a principio de año por mi culpa. Yo todavía intentaba respirar pero no podía menos cuando mi mam me seguía ando solo. Estaba entrando en Nico, as que pa al lado de mi mam y sal de la cocina y me fui otra vez a la habitación donde mi hermana estaba relajada leyendo su libro. Yo solo me acosté y camina a hacer ejercicios de respiración intentando inhalar y exhalar. Me presione el pecho ya que me estaba doliendo. Cuando yo me estaba comiendo mi mam vino otra vez y me preguntó si estaba bien algo brusco. Yo otra vez mi hyperventile y common alarar pero poquito y fu hay donde apareci la gata mi mam la vio y la rejo por estar desaperta y la commons a mimar yo solo le de la espalda y mi his en posición fetal mi cubr con mis peluches simulando un abrazo y no se su mi dorm o mi desme, pero mi despert y aqua estoy escribiendo esto con un dolor de cuerpo y pecho. Yo antes había tenido adictinico pero no hasi de fuertes, senta como si me fuera a morir por desgracia no fu as hajajaja, la verdad es que no quiero levantarme de la cama, pero no me puedo cuidar todo el día en la habitación ya que mi mam se enoja. Solo quiero desahogarme un poco ya que en serio no quiero llorar en lo que cuidada ya que a mi mam también le enoja que Es que tengo que seguir mi vida como si nada hubiera pasado. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.